Sure, abuti or nothing.
Good afternoon, Minister, and good afternoon, DM, ATG. Good afternoon, the media DTGs and colleagues. Today, the Minister and the DM tabled budget vote 37 at the National Assembly. And we have them now so that they can really explain or clarify to the media what the budget vote speeches that they tabled are all about. We do have the pleasure of our Minister and Deputy Minister that they've agreed to come and explain exactly what their speech is all about. So what we're going to do, we're not going to get them to rehash the speeches again. We're just going to go into the media to ask the questions. So we will allow the media to ask the questions. Tell us which media house you're coming from and your name, and then you ask the questions, and then we will take it from there. So this is the opportunity where you give to the media to ask the questions, and then the Minister and the Deputy Minister then going to ask. You tell us your name and the media house you're coming from, and who you want to answer the question. The floor is open. Thank you very much.
Hi, Minister. I just wanted to ask you, obviously, you spoke briefly about the FIA. If you can just clarify, just kind of you kind of mentioned about the upgrades that have to go into remaking it into a world-class event like hosting a F1 tournament. Is that something that is a bit concerning? The fact that it's not in cliff, it's not set in stone. Then that found is pretty well, sorry.
Can I just ask, what is not set in stone?
Just the fact that it's not set in stone, the actual agreement with it, hosting the F1 event.
Oh, no, thank you very much. An event of that magnitude has processes and has steps that you have to follow. And we have been following those steps and those processes. We are now, just for the sake of understanding, there's 10 steps. We are now at step 6. And having a track that is acceptable to the FIA, it's the most crucial step. And for the FIA to come back and say your track is acceptable, your plans are acceptable, they've given us 3 years to finish the track. But I can tell you as breaking news, it will take us 4 months to finish the track to that standard. People say it's 3 years. 3 years is what they've given us to go and get the money and to do these plans that they have approved. But I can tell you that the company, which is called Apex, they've also done the Miami track. They've already been paid their money. So the Plurifiester group, the Kalami group, has paid, and the track will be between 4 and 6 months, I think. The track will be done. And we will have an F1 approved, FIA approved F1 track.
Minister, Dsac from ENCA. One of the questions I have is, can you highlight the big focus areas in sport going forward?
I will take the first part and then GM will take the second part. You know, what we need to do in sport in this country is that we have the product. The product is the talent of the type of sports people. You can't argue that we have the talent. What we must do now, you see, talent without opportunity means nothing. Talent without opportunity means nothing. Our the government is to create opportunity. So what we want to do, we want to make sure that, let me make an example with Pongvoort. You don't get black people in pole vault jumping, there's pole vault. You don't get black people in that sport. We want to make sure that we bring black people onto that sport. We want to make sure that we excel in winter sport. We want to make sure we want to move away from priority sports. Because it sends a wrong message to children. If a child doesn't play a certain sport and he's brother, I have kids, so I want all my...
As the Minister has mentioned that talent development is quite crucial for the 7th Administration Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. In addition to that, we want to empower women in sports and make sure that we fight the unequal salaries, discrepancies that they've complained about for many years. We have recently tabled the sports policy in Cabinet, in which it has been approved. And some of the programs that are there will definitely challenge federations head-on in making sure that sports women, they get equal pay as sports men. And of course, the inclusion of disability in sports as well is one of the highlights that we intend to promote as the 7th Parliament.
That's one thing I want to add there. Project 350 is very important to us, to take 350 athletes to the Olympics. That's very, very important for us. School sport is very important for us, and fixing the infrastructure is crucially important for us.
Thank you, Minister. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Minister. I just wanted to ask about the live golf. Obviously, it seems like it's happening next year in March. Obviously, you went to Korea, you saw kind of how the tournament was. Do you think that kind of tournament will kind of grow South African golf, considering that it's a very niche and different kind of a golf tournament that you would with the San Francisco?
I think, you know what, I feel very sorry for the local leadership, golf leadership. And I'll tell you why I feel sorry, because they're in a catch-22 situation. They love their country more than most people have met, but because of the dynamics between Live Golf and the Sunshine Tour PGA. But I'm not bound by those things. We can't, this country has never signed exclusively to PGA. Live Golf, and the sad part, you know, and we must be honest about these things. Golf in South Africa has not reached the masses. You don't see a child in Guguletu saying he wants to be a golfer. You don't see a child in El Dorado Park saying I want to be a golfer. Because it's so far out of reach. I bought a golf bag for the first time 2 months ago. And how many families will be able to afford that? Now people that say Live Golf and PGA is fighting, that's got nothing to do with the plans of the Government of National Unity. The Government of National Unity wants to make sure we make everything inclusive, all the sports. Live Golf is coming to South Africa if we have our way in the next 2 weeks. We are meeting Live Golf. We have done the spade work, as you say, and what makes Live Golf ideal for South Africa is it's not only golf. You know, I went to a golf game and I remember my shirt was outside because of my swag. And they were like, no, you can't dress like this. Oh, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I know my culture and you know, then I was speaking and somebody said, shh, you can't talk. You get to Live Golf, the music is blasting, there's stages for artists, there's what you call impact, where when they come to an area, they will make sure people have water there, or people, they look at the socio-economic conditions of how they can assist. Now, I'm not saying Live Golf is better than the PGA or the Sunshine. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that our problems and our needs in South Africa fits the Live model. Because we want to make sure, the CEO of Live had dinner with me and he said to me the following words, he said, We don't just want to come there and play golf. We want to make sure when we live there, we leave money so that youngsters there love golf. How many golfing tournaments is there and we don't see? So, and this is not a criticism for the Sunshine Tour, it's just for them to understand. We mean no disrespect. But as the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, I must do what advances the government of national unity priorities. And one of those priorities is to make sure we build a socially cohesive country. Golf has failed to do that. Thank you.
Minister MDM, when you were doing your budget vote in the National Assembly, you might not have had time to explain some of the things that you were saying. Maybe this is an opportunity that you would like to take to give some of the highlights, some of the projects that you spoke about, that you felt that you, if you had enough time, would have been able to give more flesh to those projects. And this is the time that South Africa would love to hear about those things.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Indeed, I could not conclude on the Bantuka Af tribute concert that we recently hosted for Mama Abigail Kubeka. That we have learned lessons out of this concert. That our artists indeed are challenged, and that the legendary artists are struggling to get gigs. I'm not sure if the correct word to use. And as a result, we intend to expand this initiative into a national program. And under the theme subtitle, The Legendary Tour, and through this we will honor other cultural icons across our provinces, fostering pride and preserving legacy, and importantly, creating income generation opportunities for veteran artists, many of whom are struggling to secure gigs, as I've mentioned earlier on, or performance opportunities. Communicate due to time constraints.
I want to raise something that really I didn't have time to mention it. I was very angry. I'm glad I'm calm now, so I can calmly say what I might not have said it in there in the same calm, and I'm going to say it now. The economic freedom fighters, the EFF, were saying the Springboks is untransformed. Now I want to be clear on this issue. The Springboks are very transformed. If you follow rugby, you know out of this weekend, out of 15 players, 8 of them were black and 2 were on the bench. We have a black captain in Sia Kolisi. The Springboks contribute towards social cohesion more than any other thing that comes to mind, sport in code that comes to mind. The Springboks are great statesmen. The Springboks, their coach, Rassie Erasmus, is the furthest thing from a person that you can accuse of not being for transformation. Rassie Erasmus, we are so lucky to have him, because if you see his pipeline, if you see the boys he's still going to bring through, I have the distinct honor and pleasure to socialize with the Springboks. And I can tell you, you don't get better patriots than those Springbok players. So I can't be told by people who don't sing the stem that the Springboks is untransformed. What the Springboks has done for this country, we will never be able to repay them. And as far as I'm concerned, this country needs the Springboks. We don't need people who don't sing our national anthem. The worst crime, patriotic crime you can commit, or the most unpatriotic thing you can do. We are the only country in the world where there's people who don't sing a part of our national anthem. The Afrikaans part of the national anthem is a statement that shows how far we've come as a nation when it comes to social cohesion and moving away from our past. And I'm standing here today being very angry with what they've said. They can talk about me, they can talk about the deputy minister, but they must stay very far away from the Springboks. If there's one thing that truly works in this country, better than all the other things, it is the Springboks. And I will not sit here. And under the leadership of Mark Alexander, the President and the CEO, Rian Orosa, we are experiencing the best era in the history of South African rugby. It's the same with soccer. The PSL is doing great under the leadership of Dr. Nkosi. Bafana is doing great. Banyana is doing great. The netball is doing great. The cricket is doing excellent. The surfing is doing well. The athletes, we have the strongest men, the strongest women, the best surfing team. We are good at everything. I saw a clip where President Donald Trump was saying to Americans, you're going to get tired of winning. I think President Donald Trump was referring to South Africans. Because every day we are winning, and we are a winning nation. And I want to thank the staff of Dsac, every staff member of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. Since our appointment, they've been there, helping, guiding, teaching. And in conclusion, I also want to thank, very importantly, the Deputy Minister. You hear many stories about tensions between ministers and the deputies. I've learned so much from the Deputy Minister, but also I feel sorry for her sometimes, because when you work with a big personality like me, I get all the praise for work that I didn't even do, like the Fatuka program. I didn't do nothing in the Fatuka program. But people say, thank you for helping the Fatuka, and I say, yeah, thank you, yeah. So, I don't know if there are any other questions, Mas?
Thank you very much. Is there any other one last question before I thank Minister, Deputy Minister, for them, because they still have the NCOP that they have to attend this afternoon? One last question from you.
Last question. I want to ask the Minister, you speaking about like cohesion and stuff like that. I want to ask, obviously there's a big debate about the fact that the Springbok tickets are quite expensive and it's not for the whole community. Like what are your thoughts about like ticket pricing, especially in sports?
Ticket prices is very unaffordable for the men on the streets. Springbok ticket prices will have to come down. Springboks is a national asset. We are trying very hard with the Deputy Minister, and I'll show you what we've done to try, except sometimes giving away tickets to less deserving people, less privileged people, and more deserving people. We also have engaged the South African breweries for things like Boktown, for the ones that, for people to go and get the experience, which is they can't afford to get to the stadium. We've also just recently, together with SARU and Supersport and SABC, and the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, we've made sure the game is available the past week for people to see on free-to-air. These are all measures, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the ticket is unaffordable. We have to find a way. We're having a meeting with SARU in the next 3 weeks, where that is the only thing on the agenda. Thank you. All right. There's no more questions? The sandwiches, they are sorry, we're all very hungry. So I think we'll eat the sandwiches. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. The Minister and Deputy Minister speeches will be on our websites and our digital platforms. So if you want to go and take your time and read them at your spare time, please do that. And do engage us on our digital platforms. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Minister Ndian.
Thank you. Enjoy the sandwiches.
Nothing. Sure, I would do ownership.